it was released, what he said.
Today's the day that it...
yeah, this will be airing a little bit, a few days
announced.
after, but this is the day that it happened.
Yeah.
And so that's just... But there is a weird relationship to this white star and this other black artists or black people in general. But he was an out-and-out racist. I think, like...
As was Ric Flair, to be said. I think a lot of these guys are in the same company of that.
Even worse than that, with regards to his professionalism, was the countless stories of him burying other talent, not giving them their due, getting involved and changing up, like, finishes of matches, who's getting pushed. You can go down the line of people that have talked about ways that he screwed them over. Bret Hart, there's tons and tons of clips of him talking about that.
Now, was that...
Iron Sheik, Tony Atlas,
Yeah.
I'm going to say the Sting. Sting has said some things about that.
Now, was that when the Hulk Hogan with Bret Hart stuff, was that when he was still at
like the early
WWF?
90s mostly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or I didn't know if it was when they were both...
That was the early
WCW
90s, mostly before... Hogan left for WCW.
Now, I should say also I've been watching a lot of Monday Night Nitro WCW stuff slowly over time, and so it'll be weird to go back to that now that he's dead, just because it's strange.
The Undertaker said some stuff about him too.
Yeah.
And I think what's also very complicated about Hulk Hogan is that you cannot have a conversation about Hulk Hogan or Vince McMahon without having to wrestle with the fact that they were a package deal in many ways, especially with regards to the WWF era. And I think the documentary...
And with their, corrosive personalities as well.
Right,
so,
and I think... I'm not trying to take up for Hulk Hogan here. I don't think there's as much stuff with regards to sexual harassment that exists with him compared to Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Specifically, because there's a lot of stuff, as we know about, if you look into it, about Vince McMahon. But all that being said, there are certain matches you watch with him where he has a fundamental understanding about what pro wrestling is and how the fans relate to it that are like all-time moments in the sport. I mean, the sports entertainment, whatever you would call it. Just to run through a few of those, like the main event of WrestleMania 3 between him and Andre the Giant. I watched that for the first time a few months ago, finally, and it was like... and then also, similarly, WrestleMania 18, the match he had with The Rock. When I was younger, both of those, specifically the WrestleMania 18 that I saw, it had moments where they were just kind of standing in the crowd, or standing in the ring, and the crowd's reacting. And when I was a kid, I was kind of like, "What are they doing? Why don't they get to it?"
Right.
But as I get older and I understand that, no, this is part of the performance of what this is in terms of soaking this in, and especially the very end of that match is really high quality professional wrestling at its finest stuff. So. He's someone that and then he dies in disgrace, frankly, like Elvis did, because as of now, forever, his last ever official appearance on WWE TV was when he came on to Monday Night Raw, the very first Netflix, and was booed out of the building.
January. Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that's unjustified either, but that is a very...
Were we watching that together at the time, or were we apart? I have a feeling like you watched it somewhere else.
I had come back. That was after I got back from London. But I think I might have watched the full thing, and you watched part of it and then went to bed or something.
Right, but no, I remember... no, I think we were watching that moment in the moment, though, and we were both sitting here, and I was like, are they booing him? Mm-hmm. And it was like a shocking moment to me. Now, part of that was his pro-Trump stance, and they were in Los Angeles at the time, but I don't know, it just still felt very disconnected.
Well, I know he's not been featured in WWE TV a lot since the 2015 stuff came out.
Right.
And I think there have been some ways to try to put him back in these little positions to do stuff, and that is officially the last appearance of him. And again, I want to be clear about this. I'm not saying that the fans should have reacted differently. No. I think that's totally fair.
Yeah.
I just think that's that goes down in the history books.
He was also there trying to hawk that real American beer crap that they kept showing ads
with the great Jimmy Hart,
right.
who I genuinely love.
Apparently, 23 hours ago or so, I saw earlier Jimmy Hart was fielding questions about this stuff, and I'm like, is he literally his manager to the end?
I think he
literally kind of was, but like that he was saying, no, he's not on his deathbed, blah blah blah. So there was some at least like speculation as to this. The great tragedy of all this to me, like Kyle said, is the fact that wrestlers, it seems like, can't live past 70 very far.
Another little thing I'll throw in here too. He is a notorious liar in terms of like the way things happened or were done. He like makes up stories. Like I think, do you know at all like his background before he was a wrestler? Like he was a part of loosely some bands, like very low level bands. But like I think he's like since kayfabed or retconned that he was on the outskirts of maybe being in Metallica. I think I
never heard that.
I think he said that or whatever, and he's a notorious liar that has been called out by multiple people over the years.
Because there's that famous video they made that was on one of those Saturday Night's Main Events, one of the early ones of him playing guitar.
Yes,
that's like real famous. That's not one of the most cringe things I've ever seen.
I think for a lot of people, that are even in wrestling, but outside of wrestling, he's just always now going to be this immortal action figure of a person who came from a certain era, time, and place. There's probably people that are like, "Oh, I didn't know he was still alive." That hear this news and are like, "Don't even know." But like you said, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
like a lot of wrestlers have died relatively early deaths, and it's a shame that. I would say it's a shame that he didn't get a chance to be forgiven, but at the same time, he didn't really make any big overtures to admit enough that he should be forgiven in that regard by the public. So, but it is weird. It's like Santa Claus or something. You know what I mean? It's like I don't even think Hulk Hogan's a real person.
Right.
Exactly. He's like this like fictional being. It's like I don't. Yeah. It's like if somebody said, "Oh, did you hear like Darth Vader died?" It's like, well, Darth Vader died canonically. In a movie, but like you see Darth Vader everywhere you go in terms of on T-shirts and all.
Well, we were just talking yesterday about we were joking about what's the most 2000s moment in your life.
Yeah,
and I said probably watching reruns of Hogan Knows Best at the Midtown Lodge in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. If you know about the Midtown Lodge, you know that it no longer exists.
All of those things you just said, like has been, right. In terms of like something that's 10 to 20 years past its expiration.
Exactly, yeah.
All of those things.
Another of those is watching Dog the Bounty Hunter on a box TV while camping out at Lakewood Campground in Myrtle Beach. So that's another one. I mean so therefore it's something that entered a sort of. I mean, I honestly felt a similar way to when Michael Jackson died. It was kind of like, and I was a kid then, but I was just like, he almost didn't seem like a real person because he was so in the media.
And to that point, like with both of those figures, when they died, when we were born, and I'm a little older than you, but like those were both this established thing, like Michael Jackson, Hulk Hogan. I mean, like those were both hugely. Michael goes back a little further in the 70s, but like very 80s products, and so like they feel like it's a good point to make is bringing him up. It's like these cultural institutions that like what?
That's probably what Elvis felt like to a lot of people too. I mean,
like that. God forbid a day is going to happen where Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr is going to.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is that, but with Bob Dylan, I don't feel that way, and I'm not just saying this. He feels like an authentic person. Who I'm like, yes, he obviously has this like godlike kind of over music persona, but I don't know. He seems though like I had. Now, obviously, I haven't because I don't know him, but like I've seen his life over time.
And even the periods of before you felt and understand those periods.
Well, that's what I mean is that like his life has a story.
Yeah.
And not that theirs don't, but theirs end in this like disgrace and this like
and then like
this fat cat
there's
like,
been this,
I'm rich and
really,
I'm dying.
There's been this really dark legacy that's gotten worse with Michael Jackson ever since his death. That's gotten worse. That some of which that already existed.
Yeah, it already existed for me because I grew up
on the trial.
And that was
probably your
reality.
Introduction.
It was, and that's the thing. When I was a kid, Michael Jackson, that was the first thing I ever heard of. I remember the first time I ever saw him, this is random to be talking about this, but first time I ever saw him on anything was on TV outside the courthouse, and they had those like umbrellas.
All right.
Because he had his skin, whatever, and it's just so ridiculous.
It sounds like an alien. It's
I know.
Like,
well,
it's like this alien's on trial, and we're like trying to.
But I remember seeing that, and I said to my mom, I said, "Why do they have umbrellas? It's not raining."
Yeah.
That's my first Michael Jackson memory. But no, I remember when he died.
2009.
That was such a. That's honestly has felt like the biggest death in my lifetime, in the sense of a famous person. I just maybe it's because I was young and that was like the first one.
Yeah, we've not obviously seen a president die in our lifetime and in office.
Oh right. No, but I mean like somebody.
No,
but it
right.
was like an unexpected. Like Michael Jackson was kind of going to make a comeback around that time, and like it was. Yeah, that felt like a big thing. But so to all that being said, whereas somebody like Bob Dylan, to me, even though it'll feel like a big death, it'll be like, okay, yeah, he was a man. And I felt like he was a man.
I feel that way, frankly, about Paul McCartney too.
Yeah,
like, he's
they're like
authentic
long people.
Life
and Ringo, same thing. I mean, they feel like real people. Whereas like Hulk Hogan has always been, and maybe that's by nature of him doing kayfabe, but has always been
playing the part.
Cartoon.
Yeah.
A cartoon.
Yeah.
He's literally like a parade float of a person. He's just like this thing that, they got Hulk Hogan out there. They wheeled him out, and that is not going to happen anymore. So, it's a weird thing. I mean, like you said, I think you said good as an action figure. I mean, when I think 80s wrestling, anybody thinks it. That's it. I mean, you think red and yellow. I mean, that's it. And then you see the action figures of him. I mean, I think about those old, like, rubber ones that were, like, garbage. You remember those? That's, like, a version of that. And so, that's what we think of. And so, like I said, it's hard to believe, I said that somebody like that is dead because it's like...
They never felt real to me.
Right, no, they never felt real to me.
Yeah.
And, I mean, and that's not even so much as a criticism as it's just a fact.
I think a really great, artistically powerful version of that is David Bowie's death.
Yes.
Because literally he nurtured this idea of the Starman and Ziggy Stardust.
He felt that way.
He felt like this person, and Prince also was 2016. Like they felt like people who I think are very artistically minded, like manifestations that are the bridge between these two things that we're talking about.
Men who also had their own controversies, it should be said. So
yeah.
So did Bob Dylan ever had any controversy? Minor ones, but nothing big.
Well, yeah.
Remember when he went electric? That was a big deal.
Yeah.
No, I meant by actual things. I mean, there was that thing that came out a couple years ago that pretty much went away and nobody cared about the sexual harassment.
I think there's some very, very light possible domestic abuse stuff in the 70s when he and his wife were breaking up and stuff like that.
But there's not some big thing. Like there was stuff even more after the fact with Elvis. But
yeah,
I feel like though that even though he was so beloved, I feel like Hulk Hogan was always kind of a walking man of controversy in his own way too, because of just by nature of not only in the locker room, but just especially in the 90s when he was doing the NWO stuff, his like 2000 stuff. He just was a man of like, I don't want to say he was like O.J. Simpson's another version of like somebody who like didn't feel like a real person, felt like he'd never die.
Yeah.
More out of like, that'll never happen because we've been cheated out of justice with him so long. But that he was somebody that felt like a walking version of like a white O.J. Simpson almost, of like this somebody who's like constantly debasing themselves for like something.
Well, I think the key thing with both of those people, with Hulk Hogan and O.J. Simpson, neither one of them have much self-awareness of outside.
Well, I think that's what I mean. Is it's like this outsized ridiculous.
Which I think that's honestly, I'm not trying to make excuses for either of them, but I think that's what fame does to people. Fame literally is this drug that changes your brain chemistry.
It's bad that I compared O.J. Simpson and Hulk Hogan because O.J. Simpson was definitively like a murderous psychopath.
Yeah.
But it's funny that I say that, and he was. You remember how the trial went with that, and they like didn't do the right thing.
It's not going to work for me either.
Right.
It's not going to work for me, brother. One of those infamous Hulk Hogan quotes about, I think was specifically about him and Sting had this Starcade match that Sting was supposed to go over and win, and then like in the 11th hour, like within an hour or two of they were going to do the match, like he just changed the finish. Said, "No, it's not going to work for me, brother. I can't lose." Basically, just like he had the power to do that.
Well, maybe the way to end this, and we've probably got a million things here at the end that you might be seeing. I don't know, just additional things, but we need to put in the Sting beating up Hulk Hogan thing recently that we saw from the TNA stuff.
I didn't even think of this in the midst of everything else going on.
You know, it's a masterclass, mostly on the case of Sting. Like, if you want to see Hulk Hogan look stupid and get beat up, this is a great version of that. But Sting just going full ham, just another level. That was basically his like Joker era after like the Dark Knight. But that he was like the best stuff though at the beginning, and I've showed this to my mom a million times because I love like showing a video to mom about, hey mom, react to Sting and
Hulk Hogan from TNA
in the 2000s, and like that we kept laughing at. I was just about. I was going to get your contract right, brother. I was just coming to find you, like you know, and the best parts where he's like, "Don't do this to me." When he's like beating him up or whatever. So yeah, maybe we could end it on that as like both kind of a minor respect to Hulk Hogan's acting ability, but also to getting his butt.
Well, just a few other quick things to mention here. Sure. Like you remember when he had that like he was like wearing that mask and it was clearly him. It's like a Captain America type thing, and he's like doing a lie detector test of Vince McMahon.
Wait, no, I've never seen this.
I am no pervert, and it just like goes off like. It's like where he's giving Vince McMahon a lie detector test. It was like this is like 2002. I think like 2003.
That was like when WCW merged.
Yes, when he was back with WWE. But anyways, he's like he does this lie detector test of Vince McMahon, and he's like, and the funniest part, and I'm going to have this clip in here now. I have to is when like Vince McMahon's like, "I am no pervert," and he goes, it's like in front of everybody. It's like they're like the commentators.
I always love in wrestling when we're just off the rails at this point. But I always love in wrestling when they have tests. Like a lie detector test, a piss test. Like it's always just so funny when they try to like put this patina of professionalism of authenticity, like we're testing these things.
Read the fine print, like
right, and all about like law and contract signings and.
There was a minor version of this most recently. It was SmackDown of Jacob Fatu being arrested briefly and then let out by the police.
Well, then they had the John Cena Cody Rhodes thing where it was like. John Cena showed up and was like, they're going to have the contract signing for SummerSlam. Who knows how that's going to turn out, by the way. And he was like, I'm sorry, I can't do the match. I've got to go do this, blah, blah, blah. And then he was like going to leave. And so Cody Rhodes, it was like, honestly almost like Attitude Era wrestling, that stuff where like Cody Rhodes put him through a table, then took his hand and made him sign the like. It was
a street fight.
Yeah. By the way, did you see the thing? Oh, because I know you watched it. We're having a. Hang on just a second.
Please.
That thing with Becky Lynch where she was like, "Oh, I wanted to be at this like movie premiere for a movie on Netflix coming out August."
Happy Gilmore 2.
Yeah, the Happy Gilmore 2. And I thought that was so funny that she was like plugging a movie. She was like, I would rather have been there, but instead I was here.
Also, it's a Netflix movie, which no coincidence there. Last note, it's too bad the Iron Sheik wasn't alive to hear this news. I'm sure they're both fighting in hell.
You sent me that video of him on Howard Stern. Him talking about what he wanted to do to Hulk Hogan. That's all I'm going to say. And then the best part is they start haggling over the details of whether that makes it a homosexual act. Also, we need to mention that Ozzy Osbourne died. We don't really have a whole lot to say about that, other than because Kyle's definitely not an Ozzy Osbourne fan. I somewhat am a Black Sabbath fan, but not a big Ozzy fan. If you want to really have a good time, go read about the Randy Rhoads death situation from the 1980s, which is a big tragedy. I want to be serious. It is a big tragedy.
No. Let me be serious about this.
I had never heard that story of how that happened, and that is probably that is ripe for like a AETV kind of like something or Bravo to like really take that and make like a dramatization. It's literally one of the most insane stories I've ever heard in my life about the way Randy Rhoads died.
This video has been the only place you can hear about art house independent cinema and Hulk Hogan.
It's like what your old blog used to say, from the outhouse to the art house. So
I feel like this is definitely some of that,
especially the outhouse with the Whitnell and I stuff. But
absolutely, This is Kyle.
This is Levi.
Take care. God bless.
I'm telling you, TNA ain't big enough for both of us. One of us is going tonight.
Brother,
Sign.
Thanks for making that official. The network was blown away by your exchange. You're 10 times the man Kurt Angle could be, and I'm betting on you, brother. Immortal, bro. Thank you, man. Mexico, you are too much. Oh, God. Oh, Jarrett is the king of kings. Mexico. Viva la la. Singer, I'm going to honor your contract, brother. I was just coming to find you. The laws, everything in your contract, I'm going to take it by the book, by the letter. And on the 14th, on Spike, you're going to get your rematch, brother, against Mr. Anderson. It's totally done. You and Anderson.
Wow.
I'm a man of my word, brother.
This is one time when I can tell by looking in your eyes you actually mean what you say.
You know, Sting, we have a history that nobody around here knows about.
Yeah, that's right.
And I owe that much to you.
Wow. Okay. Does this mean that the real Hulk Hogan is back? Answer my question.
This is the real Hulk Hogan, brother. I mean, come on.
A little shred of honor and dignity? Is it still there? Come on, Hulk. Knock it off.
No,
Answer my question.
You just don't get it, do you? I'm trying to make this work my way. The fans will always be there, Sting. You know that.
Yeah, you know what? You're forgetting. You're forgetting that I have a history with you. You're forgetting. I remember what it was like the day you came in, what your mindset was like when you came to WCW. You came in with a positive attitude. You wanted to be a positive influence to WCW, to all the wrestlers there. I remember that. You had respect for me. You had respect for the groundwork that I had already laid. I respected you. I wanted to follow in your footsteps. Remember what I was talking about a few weeks ago when I was talking about all the fans buying all your stuff? All the wrestlers that worship the ground that you walk on? Did that matter to you at all? Say your prayers, take your vitamins. Did you say that just for the money? Is this a legacy that you want to leave behind? This is it right here? Is this a legacy you want to leave for all the wrestling fans, all the wrestlers? Let me ask you a question. Is this the legacy that you want to leave behind for Brooke and Nick?
Stop it! That's enough! That's enough!
I struck a nerve, didn't I?
Who the hell do you think you are?
I'm the Stinger, that's who I am! I'm the Stinger, and I'm not done yet!
Well, get the hell out of my house!
No, I'm not done. Oh, I'm excited! This is good! Man, Terry, I am not done! No, I am not finished! I'll leave when I want to leave, Terry. Sit down, Terry. Sit down. You want to wear a mask?
Don't do this.
You want to be a masquerade around here and put on a facade for everybody? Let me help you out, Terry. Let me just put the facade on for you, buddy. Come on, Terry. It's just you and me. Yes, I'll help you out wearing your mask. Is this what you want? What a legacy! What a legacy! You know what? You have only yourself to blame this time. You got a choice, Terry! You can change things. You got the power to do it. But first you gotta make the choice. Make the choice. Boo! Woo!
11, take one.
Take one. There's more than one take, Roy. Shoot.
Mr. Ford, you made a picture called Three Bad Men, which was a large-scale Western, and you had a quite elaborate land rush in it.
Mm-hmm.
How did you shoot that?
With a camera.
Isn't The Sun Shines Bright kind of a little picture that you made for yourself? Would that fall in the same?
Uh-huh.
Mr. Ford, I've noticed that that your view of the West has become increasingly sad and melancholy over the years. I'm comparing, for instance, Wagon Master to The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Have you been aware of that change in mood?
No.
Now that I pointed out, is there anything you'd like to say about it?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't.
Can I ask you what particular element about the Western appealed to you from the beginning?
I wouldn't know.
Would you agree that the point of Fort Apache was that the tradition of the Army was more important than one individual?
Cut.